Today, IMF say then they review Sierra Leone in economic growth. We'll start the program just now. I ask, say, we Sierra Leoneans them, we know to economists them, wetin we feel about Salone economy from the 1st of January 2019 to today, the 9th of December. Wetin we feel about the economy without using any term with them big guys then can use for describe the economy. A lot of people don't tell we wetin them feel. Okay. Well, I want to listen to the conversation with the IMF Deputy Director for African Development. The conversation where he gets with Musa of 98.1. Let me hear what he say. Listen to this.
We had very, very good discussions. We met, for instance, with the Vice President, with the Ministry of Finance, and with the Central Bank. And so, in a sense, it confirmed some of the impressions that we had. That in a sense, the economy is doing better. Growth is recovering. At the same time, what we call the program that we have with the Sierra Leone authorities is moving along very nicely.
You've been here for some days now. Let's look at the economic outlook of Sierra Leone from the IMF perspective. You said you are doing review. While doing that, what are some of your findings regarding the economy of Sierra Leone?
Right. So I think the first finding, something that is very encouraging, is that the level of growth is going up. We expect, around 5% from 3.5% in the previous year, and we expect that to continue in future years. The second aspect of that is quite encouraging is that this higher growth can be seen in quite a number of different sectors. In mining, in trade, in telecommunication, and others. So it seemed to be relatively broad-based, which in our experience would tend to make it more resilient. The likelihood of that continuing is quite good. Export and imports in Sierra Leone is getting a little bit better, which sort of shows a little bit of greater resilience. So overall, the signs are for recovery of the economy, and obviously we sort of all the hope and will working for that to continue in future years.
If you can put it into percentage, how fast or how slow is it that the economy is growing?
Around 5%, right? Which is pretty. You have asked for a long time. In the early days, it's not that much, but I think eventually, the population will see the benefit of that.
What are the steps that government need to take to ensure that the economy, which you said is growing, continues to grow?
So that's really, a really big question, and there are thousands and thousands of economists of the world that try to define what can help to have higher growth, right? It's a tough question. What we know for sure is what are the necessary conditions. We may not always know what are the sufficient conditions. As I was saying earlier, clearly macroeconomic stability is a necessary condition. Trade integration with the rest of the world is very important. Your ability to sell on world markets has been a factor of growth in many countries. Another factor that has been very important, and I think will continue to be even more important as you have what everyone talks about, this digital revolution, is investing in your own people, in the education of your people. Because not only in the old days everyone talked about at the minimum one should have reading, writing, and arithmetics, right? And obviously that is still very true today, but now I'm sure most people will say you will also need to have digital abilities, right? The ability to operate in a world which is digitalized, computerized, to have the flexibility to do that. And I think it's very clear that if you look at experience around the world, at the end of the day, it's human capital makes an enormous difference in success.
In the 2019 fiscal year, government introduced the single treasury account and the field liberalization, in other words, to have economic growth. Do you think these policies or this move by government has any impact to the economy?
Yeah, I think it can have a very big impact. So if you think about it, maybe the best way to think about it is this, right? in a country like Sierra Leone, but it's true also for many countries, public resources are very scarce and very limited. In that context, it's really, really important to use, every leon that the government gets in the best possible way, in the most efficient way. And this reform, partly the Treasury single account, they are part of a whole system of trying to ensure that the resources are really spent in the best possible way, that they are not sort of resources that are sitting idle somewhere, or that, they are basically kept in some pocket and may not be used for the highest priorities. That, for instance, if you move all of your funds to one, a single account, what it's really what's called a single account, then it allows then the Treasury to say, okay, we have all of these resources, and then, our top priorities are, education, health, and then we can really direct our resources to this amount.
These policies that the government introduced in 2019 fiscal year, are they in line with the IMF conditionalities or target?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't sort of just say conditionality, but in a sense more just in line, I think, with sort of the best practice that we have seen in the years. In a sense, the experience that we and our experts have gained looking at experience in Africa and across the world of what makes for good public finances and what makes for an orderly budget process, a transparent budget, a clear sense of how much money is there to spend, what are we going to spend on, and hopefully then keep moving into maybe the next step eventually down the road is then try to measure the result and say, okay, we spent so much, what result do we get? Are we happy with the results? Can we do better? And you have sort of, you create basically a virtuous circles of evaluations and then prioritization.
In the last economic outlook of the country, it shows the issue of economic depression and high debts. Where Sierra Leone stands as it is now?
So, the debt in Sierra Leone has increased. And in our classifications, it's classified as at high risk of debt distress. Right? What does that mean? Does it mean that it is in difficulties now? It is not, but it means that one has to be careful about what to do next, making sure that one increased the amount of revenue so that more of the expenditures is paid by own revenue than is paid by debt, that the additional amount of debt that is contracted is a reasonable level so that then over time the level of debt, instead of continuing to rise, sort of stabilize first and then goes down.
That's now the IMF Deputy Director for African Departments, now the International Monetary Fund, Dominic Dorelli, with the talking that interview with Musa S. Kamara.
One for Tel 98.1, thank you, and Musa S. Kamara, thank you for that interview where he gets with the IMF Deputy Director. With all waiting he say, I don't know waiting you pick out of him. Number one, he say the economy is doing better. Well, I be don't ask the question for we na just now. I say if we know they look at the terms them with the economists then they use, but for just make we just use we own layman idea how the economy look like. A lot of people write waiting and feel, but the IMF director, the deputy director, don't tell we say Saloni economy, he they do better. He get beaucoup things then we he lay down, we made all right down. But make a count Usman Toli, make we waiting in go peak out of this conversation. Yes, Usman Toli, you get the platform, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Triple A, and thanks to all the listeners then. Actually, I joined late. Just listening to the last part of the interview. So I'm not able to listen. I don't know if it's a short clip, but I only listened to the last part of the interview. But I know say this gets something to do with economic growth. So I will just quickly go over what this mean for the country. They say then they forecast say the economy will grow by 2020 to 5%. Yeah. First of all, let me try to understand where they say economic growth. What do they mean in a layman term. It just means, we level of production or the amount of goods and services them. Now we country, it increase over a specific period, say 1 year. Yeah. So then they look at certain indicators then, where their economists here, they do their forecasting. Then they look at certain indicators then forecast. This is just a forecast. Yeah, it's not what happened in 2019. The 5% when they talk about not what happened in 2019, but now the forecast for what will happen by the end of the year 2020. Yeah, then get certain indicators then what they look for. Yeah, one they can look at the inflation rates, how inflation therefore happen. Then they look at the interest rates. Then they look at the production, industrial production. Then they look at the confidence of the customers then, the productivity level, the employment level. So now all the indicators here, then they look, then give their own forecast. Say, well, would the forecast say UK economy or any other economy, they grow by certain percentage. Sometimes they can prove to be right. Yeah, sometimes then they rewind and they change that figure from time to time. So from what IMF don't see, looking at all these conditions, yeah, looking at all what the present government don't put in place in terms of agricultural sector, in terms of the services sector, in terms of so many other activities then, so many other areas then forecast say Salon economy, they grow by 5%. Yeah? I know a lot of people then will begin question this. Yeah? They will begin to question, how is it on earth a country where they struggle with the bread and butter issue, then they predict say it will grow by 5%. Yeah? But the thing is, we not forget. Yeah? We don't see the government. I not say these are some of the policy system, but what in the IMF go don't do, they don't look at the plans them we don't in place. Especially now, we don't say the government don't get that medium term strategy will go up to 2023. They don't put down their plans. They don't see how the government they move. They don't see the things that we don't put in place in terms of, because things like human capital, I think he mentioned about that. And they also take into account things like human capital development. You talk about digitalization, all these factors. Yeah, when they come measure growth, economic growth, all these factors have been taken into account. Yeah. So real GDP now, they take into account when they don't adjust inflation. In other words, they don't take away inflation. How they will expect. The only thing where they add on this growth now import, because import is like a leakage of the economy. So the only thing where they take into account here is import. And they take away import, but all the other economic activities, in terms of production, services, all these things, then they take into account. And one critical question where they ask them about the single treasury account. Well, to be honest with you now, the single treasury account will make a big impact in our country. In fact, now one of the ways that they will use for control leakages. Because don't forget, a lot of the resource system, money will begin at our country today, it will leak in the wrong hands, it will go to the wrong people then. Because the government, they get different accounts. So in that situation, it's very difficult, very, very difficult for control. A government will get different side where then they put the money. Yeah. So therein this single treasury account, it come and say, well, all government money for be consolidated and for put on a one treasury account, so that they go able to monitor them, then go able effectively check on see what in, if any leakage happen, then we'll know, say, this leakage don't happen. So that made they ask them. One of the questions where they ask them, they say how the single treasury account don't become an efficient way for manage the economy if you don't make an impact in terms of the economy. And one of the reply wage is say, and I think I mentioned this before, we want them, you know, we are limited by what we get scarce resources. Yeah? Scarcity is the key word here. Yeah? So if then limited resources, then the way you get, you don't control them. If they go in the wrong hands, then there is no way where we will get efficiency. Yeah? So in other words, because of this scarcity, we get for try to manage these limited resources in the best way possible, where we will allocate them to the sectors them where they need the most. Well, now this we try for talk. Yeah? We know we problem. And this is now a worldwide phenomenon. Yeah? The scarcity is all over the world. Yeah? Now as a government, you know, say you get limited resources. So what do? You get for prioritize. Because of these limited resources, because of scarcity, you get for prioritize. The sector where you know say is very important, where is very urgent to the nation. Now you devote most of your time, your resources, yeah, and your efforts. You give more effort. Like in this case now, this week government here, then take human capital seriously. Now the first priority. So you see, say, 22% of the budget currently they say it go towards human capital. A lot of effort, the best minister. Yeah, the best minister, I will say. A lot of people believe say the best minister, Dr. Senge, and put her now, they say the Minister of Education. You see, that's now effort. Best resources, the best resource, human capital, and put her in and say, you look after this educational sector. Yeah? So now so you take prioritize. So the argument now where some people let me get, they say the government don't take them, they're too high. There are other areas where this are the contrast. Other people and say there are areas them where urgent, where need serious consideration than that of human capital, where in terms of the bread and butter issues. Arguably, human capital is also part of the bread and butter issue. But the question is, forget an immediate reflection on the people. The question is it human capital? That's not the question where most economists they ask. You know, you see, the situation, existing circumstance, and they determine sometimes whether, you know, a certain sector should be prioritized. This is very important. Yeah, countries where they already don't develop, they don't prioritize. They don't prioritize water. They don't prioritize food because those things are already there. So when they come, they don't prioritize anything. Then they take all the things there now, they prioritize them. But in a situation, this is where the argument is. In a situation, we say a country, they struggle in terms of food, in terms of water, in terms of electricity. Therefore, human capital, arguably, yeah, should not be a priority. Simple as that. Yeah? If we go back to Maslow hierarchy of needs, in talk say food, water, clothing, the basic human needs, you try to fill out first before you come for prioritize before you go to the next level. Yeah? So now the argument is where people and they argue day in and day out. Whether the government right or not. We're not saying that the government no go succeed. But what we dey try for talk, we dey talk about immediate needs. Yeah? We are not saying the government of don't take human capital important. But the question is, should it be number one? When people in the struggle with the bread and butter issues? These are the questions. IMF, of course, then they do the forecasting. Our IMF, they do them, sometimes they look at, like we say no more, they don't look at, they don't give them guidelines. Government, like institutions like the IMF, the president of like a country for giving their own advice, looking at best practices. Then they look at best practices, they look at how the situation of the economy, how the economy they go, how they grow. They look at so many other factors. They advise in terms of risk, in terms of shocks, in terms of so many other things like what we've been on to discuss about here. In 2015, we see the Ebola crisis, the mudslide come, because sometimes they don't do them forecast here, a risk inside, a shock, whether demand shock or supply shock inside, then all the gains or all the anticipated growth, they just go down. This is why the IMF sometimes they give advice. It's up to you if you take the advice or not. But basically, I think that this man they try for talk take into account. Understandably, from the last question where they asked him in terms of the debt. We know Sierra Leone debt, we get the external debt, we get the internal debt. We will talk about the debt ratio. I think the debt increased slightly. The debt increased slightly, but I think to a reasonable extent. You see, it's reasonable, within a reasonable level. So in that case, I think it's acceptable. But this is just what the IMF say. Then they anticipate. And 5% growth rate is not bad. Yeah, because although I don't think, because we still under the poverty line. Yeah, of less than $2 a day, but 5% is not bad. We can do better, but 5% is not bad. We can do better. Yeah, so if we actually want to alleviate people from poverty, but looking at the SDGs, yeah, Sustainable Development Goals. Hello?
Yes, you're on, sir.
Okay. So if we want to meet with Sustainable Development Goals, which are 17, I think we need to grow more than that.
Okay, before you go, I just want to give you 1 or 2 points them way George Kamara make na Facebook. He say, remember, he say growth, this particular growth projection, what them people can do, he say it could be revised upwards or downward based on some future metrics. He also say, talking about that single treasury account. He say, it's like where you get boku bank accounts then, though you give boku people access to their accounts in there. He say, you not go able for provide oversight on their multiple accounts then they say, but for prevent thief business, you go able to consolidate them all to one account. He say, na so is simple, na I make him feel say then do that. Also, he say for reinforce, what they try to say about this, again, analogy say, it's like where homeless man go to hospital and they complain pain. He say, you go on for first, before you address in pain, give eat. He say, because sometimes he angry. He say, and the angry go take precedence over that pain day.
Yes, George Kamara makes some salient points. I think it just reiterates the points that what I make. Okay, let's start with the issue of the treasury account. Yeah, I mean, just like an individual, if you, as an individual, you get boku account, it was very difficult for keep an eye on all those accounts as compared to where you get a single account. Because say now the only account this one get, you go able to keep an eye on them, you go able to control them. When something go wrong, it's easy for them to detect. Now exactly, George Kamara did talk, and this idea is a good one. We then copy from Nigeria. Actually the APC government said they talk about them. But when these governments come, they just copy the idea and then carry on with it, which has proved very successful. And again, he talk about, I think, say just reiterate on the issue of prioritizing. He give an example. If you go as a sick man in hospital, then they look at the most urgent one first, where they know say this will likely kill you now, then they talk about the one way they'll kill you, well, maybe in 1 or 2 years later. So they will try to treat the one way they kill you now than the one way they kill you in 2 to 3 years time. I don't forget the other points we make, but in point them in solid.
Okay, just this last one before Anami Kamara say in believe IMF projection then to any nation for be considered. He said, but the fact remains, if government then for take wholesomely for country for develop or not.
Sorry.
What they say is he believe in the projection where IMF then can do, or if even a World Bank or then thing and they. He say, but also I may feel say get the question mark. If now waiting the one and they project, now then go take like government then go take say yes the country go develop or go able for develop.
Well, the thing is IMF we all know say we can them projection Now credible institutions then. Now very credible institutions. Because then they look at certain indicators then. And don't forget, then get people where they forecast. Then they use modeling techniques. Yeah, we get some modeling techniques in economics. Based on the existing situation, based on those indicators, yeah, then they forecast. Most of the time then they get them right. But however, as I say, certain situations can force these figures for change. So they can revise their figure. Yeah. For example, I'll give you an example. In Sierra Leone, we know say Sierra Leone up to 2015, it will grow. Yeah, it will grow. But what can happen where where the Ebola crisis can kick in? Yeah, and also, the fall in the market prices of the minerals here, it reduced the growth rate. So some of these exogenous factors, some of these shocks here, yeah, it also will make the IMF revise the prediction rate. Yeah. So although IMF say we will grow by 5%, and I think this is also evidence that the project where them put, there is also evidence on the budget where them put. And don't forget, we get a turbulent global economic problem at the moment. We look at them, yeah. We get the issue now. We get the issue now. China, they move from manufacturing-led manufacturing-led to a service-led. All anything and there. We get trade wars, policies them and all that. So all this global trend back will likely affect real situation of the country as well. Yeah, because don't forget, the world now become a global war. So all these factors are also likely to affect. For example, the example one given when the prices of their mineral here fall, now the international market, it affects we back as well. It affects we export. In other words, And export na part of economic growth. So these are the factors them we talk about, basically. Yeah?
All right. Thank you very much, Usman Toli. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, that's now Usman Toli. It don't help we for make we understand within the IMF Deputy Director talk about the interview. What thing you think about the economic growth of Sierra Leone? You get the opportunity now for call and be part of the conversation. IMF tell we say, they observe say the economy of Sierra Leone is doing better. That's not the exact word we Dominic, the Deputy Director, we 98.1 interview. That's now waiting. He say, make we come with the first caller. Yes, caller, you live on here. Your name and who side you call from?
Yes, good day, Triple A. These are Almami Kamara, Boston.
Yes, waiting are your contributions, sir?
Okay, yeah, I feel say, they get me clear.
No, they get you.
Yes, okay. As usual, I appreciate your work we wanna do. And yes, Usman Toli, it really lay a very good foundation. My contribution is IMF. Yes, we all know say now a credible international institution where they focus. But as I've been begin for talk, that country, of course, we all know that people them already there for say yes, the human capital development now one of the development in any nation, but as Usman Tori don't put on. Now number one priority, when you look at the projection of IMF, who say, by the end of 2020, the GDP of that country, they grew about 5% or so. And looking at the current situation, whose parameters where, IMF really they project for sake of a passional country in own development. That's my question. When you look at the current situation where they, as Usman Toli talk on, developed nations, they come for say, okay, education, nami priority, food, nami priority, construction, infrastructure, nami priority. No, the only thing, first and foremost, human development comes with employment. When you look at our country, the youths alone constitute, more above 35%. So are those youth, employed? How many percent are employed? That's not the question. Because whenever you talk about a country economic growth, looking at the employment ratio. Secondly, looking at what is the country exporting and where it bring back to that particular country, not only import all the time. Yes, the current government they get good policies in place. Yes, if at all would they only pray that those policies are all met with positive move. Yes. So I will stop the Triple A. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Almami. Thank you, sir. Yes, call ID live on air. Your name and who side you call from?
Yeah, my name is Brian. I call from New Jersey.
Brian, I get the platform, sir.
Yeah, people will tell you thank you for the opportunity for this forum. For me, I'm not convinced what I say. I'm not convinced one. I'm not convinced. Because it's simple. As just like when you start with what you say. We all miss to economists, mean government and waiting in Colorado school, na sixth form. Now let me do. But the little women sabi pan economics, because I like for watch Bloomberg TV, now in front of me, I like for watch them, so I know a little bit on economics. That one, I don't care what you talk. We don't go find the big English or the guys speak. We don't go there. For me, I guess simple parameter with everybody, we all get what they take for assess how the economy they do. How the bread and butter issue they. The unemployment. How many people they employed in a Sierra Leone? I need to go far. This morning, I go sell money in a salon. I get the paper right in front of me, the receipt. Just for $100, 954,000 millions. When I just make 46,000 for let go 1 million. Now, me on simple parameter handy, we need to take. And we all know say salon a dollar. So if you see dollar don't nearly it's 1 million for $100. That tells you say the dollar nine the driver of everything at the economy. So I don't care what they say. Let them tell that to people in a salon. What they buy is almost 1,000. People already pay, they're not able for pay us rents. LTRD, this day. Please, when you listen to the they're gonna do the same thing to APC be needed. We say you get 6% for almost here, growth almost here. How we end? Because now Ebola and waiting and calling now so then life are we say now Ebola done the I don't know we crash now the world market. Now that they say. Please, I mean listen to that Andy. Me now the dollar, now the look. We see the dollar rate today up, it affects everything else. We all know. So me not listen to it and say, me not believe. Anyway, I don't care if now World Bank or IMF, whatever they say. Nothing they can't tell me. Me as Sierra Leone, nothing they can't tell me to happen in our country. So for me, I don't believe. So let's continue for this. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you very much, Brahma. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, caller, you live on here. Your name and who side you call from?
Good morning, Triple J. Good morning to Miss Leone and family all over the world.
Yeah,
Eskimo,
the name na Triple A.
Triple A.
Yes, continue, sir. You get the platform.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Mr. Triple A, obviously speaking, we don't listen to the entire interview, even though I come late for listening to the interview, but out of waiting, Mr. Usman, is it Mr. Usman, we don't lament on, we'll be able to learn a lot about this IMF progression where they talk about. We believe, yes, the growth where IMF they try for projects now this particular account to go with the foresee, yeah, then get a credible institution where we all know. But the truth is, to me, I just look at and say they try for courage Sierra Leoneans then, so that we at least they get a little hope, say we are moving somewhere else. But the truth, the point there is very clear. Just like with me, what I been talk just now, we just drop line. You can't imagine presently just little amounts, even if 30,000 or so, or something thousand, for let dollar go 1 million euros in our country. Just imagine then, if we they raise dollar, they go up to this level, to the extent that we poor families then in Africa, then they suffer. They're not able to afford to buy even a bag of rice. There are plenty of families and then now they even Friday they say it will manage with half bag, but now it can't possible except they do them by cup, and by cup, that money they buy in one bag rice for cancer, they buy 200 and something thousand. They can't say that no go expect a police loss. Just imagine how look outside this country they try to take with to. You see, IMF we expect them thought we expect the deputy chairman whatever then say to we know say they try for courage way up. But we they try for talk to still the president say this did not convince we the civilian, the layman. This book reading, because to me now book reading, analyze, speculate, doing this, for them try for that just give me terms the way they will make the layman or somebody who is down there will think say we can't they move somewhere somehow. Yes, the president in flagship is very, very good education. We know. Then talking about human capital is very important. But this is not the most important thing the country needs for this moment. I just feel like if we prioritize these particular issues there of the country, there are things in the way we need to consider first. Like one Mr. George, be the measurer, he can't take me to the hospital at the same time. you feel like you go address me sickness, we go with me. Probably something I eat, I don't even eat. Something I angry, they beat me up, they make a collapse, they won't go to me hospital. If they, at least the first thing they get you, they make sure say that they afford us somebody their food or even water for drink. Then they take you part of your medication or your proceedings. You understand? So like I really didn't support of that in text message way, right? And that's exactly the point of our country. We need to look at the issues the way they hit we up down, the other issues the way we president for lay out. They're very important, they're nice towards the country. Of course, human capital, it empower a country so strongly, we know. But at this moment, at this point in time, people, trust me, this is not what we need in our country for this moment. We just need the president to understand the country way old. See, the most important thing we need for let's fight the inflation the way they go up. If this inflation continue, AAA, before 2021, 2022, we know if we will get any doubt in going to the pool. We family don't will get doubt in going to the pool. Thank you very much. This is my contribution for today.
All right, thank you very much, caller. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, caller, they live on here. Your name and who side they call from?
Yeah, this is not I they call from US.
You get the platform, sir.
Yeah, the demand from IMF and then the analysis we give the assessment, yeah, it makes sense, you know. If you say the economy they do better, then the forecasting way they do is all good on paper. But waiting now the reality where they happen right now with the people in the country, how this economy in better one they impact the people, how it don't impact them so far, you know the same because if the cost of goods and services still high, the dollar don't come from 8,000, if I can remember way back now, it don't come up to 900,000 going to 1 million, and say fluctuate again. So how does this impact the day-to-day lives of the people in that country? You know, I think if the main focus always is they should take care of the basic things. Then once you take care of the basic things, then that will also impact the human capital. Because if the people get things at a lower price and get water, light, and good living, you know, that will increase their own capacity to able to do more for themselves, you know. Because if they get light, you know, people that will open small shop, then carpenter shop, and then welding, because they know say they get light, we will able to keep them afloat, you know. But if them things they not there in place, you know, it's going to be tough, man. They should focus on basic issues in place. It will lead to, it will open the door for development. That's my point of focus since I joined this program, and it's still my point of focus. Take care of the basic needs of that country. Then other things then will open up. But as long as the basic needs not there for the people, then it's very difficult. You know, they need to address those issues. You know, IMF to do their forecasting, yeah, that's good. You know, and on paper, yeah. But the immediate impact we will make the people then come out from most of the pressure within the right now, so now for take care of them basic things. Then that's the way I say it. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Yes, caller, ID live on here. Your name and who side you call from?
Yeah, AAA, good evening. This is Abramani call from London.
You get the platform, sir.
Yeah, AAA. Thank you very much for the forum. I listened to Usman Tony analysis and George Kamara in text, which are very salient and very important points to make. You understand? And it's the point. But the other problem where I feel say I not agree with IMF there. It's like, you see IMF there, with these governments, the last governments be deny IMF them. They be don't be the last governments for let them take the subsidies from fuel. They refuse. Now that make them talk say then they left salute first. Also this new government is told them in the opposition and they begin use that for campaign against the people then. So IMF right now, they know say this government they do exactly what they want for let the previous governments do all they not do. government they do them, then kind of take the subsidies. Now they introduce the one account, which is a good thing. Like Osman only be put as the previous government. Then IMF we don't tell them for let them do a single treasury account for let them able control all the finances there. I don't go through into that because we don't talk about that now. But the problem is IMF they need to be friendly with this government, and that no mean say Occident talk not true. The European countries like England and they listen to IMF. America they listen to IMF because they only deal with poor countries. Countries where no able look after themselves and they can tell anything for them. IMF ne England and can tell them say una growth rate na this, una there for increase tax or decrease tax or una no there for they do because they don't need them. And they can go to Africa and go tell we anything because at the end of the day 50% or if no more we budget is based on IMF borrowing. And this money is not free. They come with a lot of conditions. What they will tell you say, well, this money will lend you. We want for them to pay you back. You have to pull the subsidies. Like I'll be talking this now. So you see, the bread and butter issue, which is the most important thing, like what George Kamara talking in America. Now the dollar now they also implement the common for the economic group. Yeah, because the agriculture they invest for Usman only talk about the capital development only for take another 10-15 years before we will reap the benefits of that capital investment. So where the growth is coming from? It's the same tax. They're not gonna increase tax. There is no manufacturing. Which factory they can assign for can make for letting the growth can? I haven't seen that. I don't know the projection how they work out. To be honest with you, I don't know which models they use. So, and AAA, now my own contribution, Andy.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, caller, they live on here. Your name and who side you call from?
Yeah, my name Adama. I call from New York.
Yes, Adama, you get the platform.
You know, AAA, we will do this dance from here forever. Because I remember where I been grow up in my village. Me, my brothers then and sister. Okay, till I come to this country, I don't spend so much years of my life in this country. And when I go back for visits, it's like everything they go backward instead of forward. And as long as these basic needs that people need in the country, where the government not they provide, nothing is going to work. I mean, in 2019, how you go there in this world where you not get water and light? I mean, this is a shame. Okay, I don't mention this before. My village, people that they jump for go put light the other village. And I tell you today, AAA, now my family, the first person where we don't bring poles in. Now we house. Okay, for all the years. Okay? When somebody, other people that they can benefit from it. I mean, really, a basic needs. Could you just imagine in 21st century? Okay, Sierra Leone as a beautiful country with all the resources. And they do all this dance. When they do this, when they do that. A basic thing in 2019, water and life for somebody forget, they don't get. I mean, how long will they pay this? It's a shame. Okay. Now, my own contribution, AAA. I yield back.
All right. Thank you very much, Adama. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Albami Bai Kamara, they ask a question. He say, oh no, he not ask a question. Maybe one ask the question, but he make him a statement. He say, we cannot do without IMF or World Bank. Me want ask the question. Can we do without IMF and World Bank? You think say we able do without IMF and World Bank na salon? You feel say we able do without them? For me, personal, AAA. Right now, no. But if we work a fine, if we correct we mistakes them, if we able fight lawlessness and corruption, we can do without them. We able do without them. If we work a fine and we able fight lawlessness and corruption, from the high to the low. We go able to do without them. But as long as corruption still timapianda like big cotton tree, and we still dip and bigger, we cannot do without them. When the IMF deputy director be the talk, okay, make a read what in Sarah Conte say. He said we need basic needs them like light, water, anything for it. Say Salon people and they die, please. We basic needs them as soon as possible. Mohamed Kabo say no, we're not go able do without IMF and World Bank. That's not the question. We able do things in us alone without IMF and World Bank? Me, don't give me your answer. Say right now, I don't think so. But if we correct, we mistakes them. We do it in right and fight lawlessness and corruption. We can do without them. When the IMF Deputy Director, Dominic Bidi talk, there are certain words them we use. For make we go able get microeconomic stability, he say we forget the ability for sell to the world market. Ability for sell to the world market. We hope say right now the present government they put things them in place for make down the road we will get that ability there for sell to the world market. It talk about digital revolution. The first in Africa, we talk about blockchain. The first in West Africa, we talk about drone corridors. The other time I be asked question here. I say, we just want to be the first for the getting here, and we're not able to see the benefit. Not only no more we want for, or we want to be the first and also be the first for enjoy the benefit within here come with. Digital revolution. Somebody should be able to use computer. Somebody should be able to do like how they get that Airtel Orange money and then get official money, then get all this mechanism where they make transactions made simple. It talk about human capital. It say it make enormous growth in a country's economy. The human capital. We know say President Bill from when he take office, he's always talking about this human capital. The human capital. We get the people them, but how we go make a capital in this investment we go make the country go before? That's the thing here. Because, let me say, you want to open a business. This business need capital. You, example, you get your house. You get your host. You go to the bank, say, "Bo, I want some money." Then they ask you, say, "What thing you get?" You lay out all thing where you get. They say, "Oh, okay, well." You go come with your host. Your host don't stand as a collateral. But now the value of your house, now they able to give you what you want. The value of your house. So with all this human capital where the president can they talk about, the human beings, them, the citizens of Sierra Leone, how we go able for use them as capital? When one go say, even the basic needs for make the person be comfortable and make you able to use them as capital, in order to where the structures say you're not able to go school, that's fine. You're not able to learn book, that's fine. We get institute them. We go teach you for be productive na the country. Not to say you take somebody, say they go learn carpentry. He go, as himself begin take nail, he put on the board, he make small chair where he feels he able to sit down enough for them better. He say he don't sabi. Now he left so. He go open your own shop. He say he don't land done. That's not what we're talking about. We talk about something we go make the country able for benefit from them. We waiting you they do go be a blessing to the country. Because every time we hear human capital, the able body, the labor, we have it. But the system and the structures them, they are not there. For make we able reap the benefit of saying human capital. We hope say this present regime, they are working on it. I think Usman Tolibi Rob Morton small way he say public resources are scarce and limited. He tell we, and we all know that they say public resources are scarce and limited. Somebody go say, if we be done they handle things better back in the days, we know for even they talk about scarce public resources. Because we get natural resources. Why make we natural resources not able for outgrow with public resources? Why? Now the main reason where I talk say, right now we not go able for look IMF and World Bank by the eye. But if we correct we mistakes them and we fight lawlessness and corruption down the road, definitely we not go need them. Because what intel we say, he say we for use the little resources where we get best way possible. The little resources, best way possible. The little resources where they right now, the government tell we say, they meet a broken economy. That's little resources or scarce resources or limited resources with them for use. But it tell we say, we for use the one way we get the best way possible, wisely. So within any country, right now, with your eye, with your understanding, with waiting this particular government meet? Are they using it wisely? Are they using it in the best way possible so that the citizens of the country can able for smile at the end of the day before you go to bed? Or you go and say, then they try. It's just that we Sierra Leoneans them, we don't so mix pan politics that we know they agree for C again. We know they agree for C. Or, then you say, an hungry man is an angry man. Is it because of them basic things that we will not get? Now they make with a frown. Is that the reason? Corruption na one thing we make salon de usaide de leketide. And it's sad for say, let me say now, somebody they practice, they do some corrupt practice na ya. Then can catch and then pull them. Then bring other person. Or he left some of your own colleagues then. It will surprise you for no say the act is still going to be there. It go say me you no go tanso. We make example for them teachers them. Even after the public display. About 3 consecutive Saturdays them after that public display. Waiting happen. Then we still like each other one them where they do the same thing. So at another when you look at it's like even corruption. It don't like say it's the normal thing to do. Corruption don't like the normal thing for do. Or we Sierra Leoneans them, we can accept anything. We can accept anything. Even if it is a corrupt official, we go accept them. Even if somebody is doing wrong, high places, we go accept them. Even if we then at the same neighborhood, somebody they do the wrong thing, we go accept them. I talk to somebody today. He go buy EDSA, credit for light. Now they say, they don't thief me. Now I say, what do you mean by they don't thief you? Now I say, no, we'll go buy the 50,000, you not rich again. Now I explain to them. Now I say, oh, me I don't know self. You, even though you know this alone, you can know everything. I talk to somebody else. This same thing. What thing he say? He say, Brami Mio, you better. I buy 60,000 and give me 43. Even though when he be they buy 50,000, now be 54. He say 60,000 and give him 43, he better. Now say you realize say 50,000 and be 54, he be they give you. Now he say yes. I say so you add 10,000, then it's still not rich day. But what he say? He say he better. So now I make them one day where they go and talk, say, oh, the people, yes, we don't send the camera on the street. We don't send the camera on the street for go ask people, waiting and think. Let we wait back, let we hear them feedback, because some of the people that we don't talk to now, some man say better. Some man say, oh, na thief then thief. We know they pay attention. Or we just accept any and everything. It's just like right now. Yes, some people in there, when they can voice out, they get political undertone. Usai they can come out. But some people in the back, now out of the love for the country, then they can talk with it, they talk. So man not they pay attention. So man not they pay attention. But not to today, Salon don poel. Not to today. I used to ride along with somebody with nabi hierarchy na the police department. On Sundays, he go call me. So what's you do? I tell him. Say Kalo go waka. We dey begin drive from Eastern Police. Till reach Masheka. All the checkpoints where they meet na road. Na envelope there they collect. Then we don't sabi the car. As we reach, then can the car. But na this day today, they hand over. This was like, 15, 20 years ago. So not to today, Salon don poel. But we can fix it starting from today. So now I make some of the measures them with this particular government they try for put in place. Maybe now I make IMF they say, oh, the economy is doing better. But we the people, we Sierra Leoneans, we say no, the economy need to do better. But are we asking question out of political malice or out of genuine feelings what we they get for the country? Like the other day, people then begin write on social media say the 21 artists 21 stand will be happen on a Friday. Then right after that the EcoFest Salon, the stadium full up back to back. Then people then begin say, una they say the ground dry, but una they go stadium back to back, una they go full up You think say it be right for ask the people Landy? Or you think say it was the right question? Maybe now we know they prioritize. But waiting at the try for say Naya. IMF review the economy, then tell we say 5% is all good. But waiting now the social strategy where IMF they tell we government for help with the citizens them so that we go achieve just the basic things them all they ask for. Or for say because the high top and mighty then convince up there. They just convince up there that things are going on well. These people are already grumble. Now just politics and they want play, but things are fine. The other day somebody called me he say, oh, they say dollar don't go down now and reach 1 million again. So it don't go down even the black market dollar don't go down. So they say a good thing. I say okay, that's good, fine. They are ask for me how much for one bag rice. Does it reflect? Or you go say, no, you're not supposed to reflect one time, it go take time. We discussed now waiting the president be talk, now the mini convention. We himself accept, and we see how things go happen for we beloved land. It's Mullah. When I be talk now about waiting the IMF deputy director say, where he talk about the ability to sell to the world market. So it's Mullah say, he say, where is the ability to sell to the world market? He say, waiting we go sell safe. Where we leaders them far from it. He said, this is not just a speculation from IMF. He said, but we Sierra Leoneans, them, what we need now food, light, water as we basic need. Eh? Musa Kamara say, he say corruption they all say. Not to the top no more, even to the market. And a lot of people on the call say price control. Other people on the call say, no, we there on a free market, an open market. You can't control price. So we get for enjoy and we get for suffer. Judge Kamara says, say somebody go can late and he go still pay him in full salary for the day. He says, so waiting at the chance we go make it come early or on time the next day. Let's say if he come early. What about the one the way they can work? They left the workforce, go na market, go na picking school business, go all on the time, all on the clock. Go do your own business first. Wait on, he come back, he can't continue. Or some man no dey return self again. What about that one in there? Mullah say, he says Salon don't be destroyed since the moment we think we have independence. So from that moment today, Nine Salon don't destroy. Eric Grant say, he said we know they do good research. And we just come to conclusion due to then say Alfred Beatty, they talk about the systematic destruction of Sierra Leone economy. He said go take them way back to where they close the railway, the lifeline of the agricultural industry, and the assassination of the central bank governor, the late Sam Bangura. Okay, railway. I will not say a few people and on the call now say the need for bring them back. If not for even the people, but for transport goods them. We not can even make them way to who side them for buy them. Who side them harvest them, now they rotting. But the bank governor, well, may his soul rest in peace. But for the railway, and funny enough, we don't hear all waiting government they talk about even the decongestion. We know they hear them they talk about railway. Not so. We know they hear them talk about that. The only thing where they don't talk about a light rail system, now the same way they talk about Lunge Bridge. We then say they go get light rail system there. I sat to New York. He sent me Maslow's in hierarchy of needs. At the top, you get to self-actualization, whether in a part of self-fulfillment needs. The self-actualization, now achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. Then we get the physiological needs. You say get esteem needs and also belongingness and love needs. Under the esteem needs, then they talk about the prestige and feeling of accomplishment. The belongingness and love needs, now intimate relationship and friends. You get the safety needs, security and safety. Right at the bottom, you get food, water, warmth, and rest. And then in a part of the physiological needs. What thing we go say na salon about them where? Are we getting them? But for the economy for grow, one big aspect we can always talk about na exports. But what we for exports? We will know the manufacture or not the plant. The few plants in the world they do, we get packaging problem. We know where they make them frown at time, not the world market. Even the baby steps, we have to take it. Because that picking, we just grab. You say, one waka, you want to do a fast city for them. Somebody go tell you, say, come on. 58 years. Who's baby again? We are no more babies. We are grown folks. But maybe because of malnutrition, when our lawlessness and corruption cause them, we are still a 58 years old grown man in a little baby's body. Would I ask the present government for help with the basic needs them? They want to say, oh, then give EDSA so and so time for retract or else. My dear, then the way she don't go up soon as alone. Like I said before, and I will say it again. This particular government tell we say, then we get a better deal. Now for it's the price, then say na then they subsidize. 1 year ago, then we tell we say, they reduce the internet bundle. They want they like if we sell all these people them waiting and they buy, they reduce them to 48%. They reduce them. But we the people, we not feel like nothing. So, what would they say? It's not about talks. But it's about we the people for able for say yes. Now so it happens. Alfred Beatty says, here we go plants with transportation no day. Major agricultural town are non-existent after the closing of the railway. Mohamed Ali Umaj say, he says, so tell me, if I be born poor, that means I for die poor? He say, he asks this question because people can always blame the past leaders them for destroying the country. He say, but the past leader them, then left some things them will be fitting to the country up till now. We pray say, I talked the other day, 2021, salon the 60 years, where they remind the government. Say, do ya? We don't want to reach 60 years back. We are still talking about light, water, and good health care. For 60%, 60 for 60. Even though we want a 100%, but 60%. Let the country cable boast of that. One salon we get. Yes, people and they talk about the bad roads, transportation. If you're looking at the plates, it's like say, if you look inside the room, it's like every size scatter. I be make an example here the other day. Say if they call you say come pack the room, nets don't come. If everything scatter, if for side you go manage for pack na the bed. So at least if you jump safe, you go able to get side for rest. And then they will call on the government for just the basic. Naina will bid. If that one they be sorted, it will be good for us. We go there back tomorrow. Till we meet again. Triple SA. Tata.